police and also our well-being, how we can be involved to make sure that our communities are very safe and sounding for all of us to enjoy. Now today we're going to be talking about case follow-up by civilians, which is very, very important, and also the victims actually. And it is once again a pleasure to have my brother here, ASP Asiimwe, who is the CLO or Community Liaison Officer for Kawempe Division. It is a pleasure to have you once again.
It is my pleasure once again to be here. Good morning, our dear viewers. Thank you for always following us, and also thank you, Family TV, for always giving us an opportunity to share what we know with the members of the public.
Okay.
Like you have introduced me, I am Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mtera Asiimwe, Division of Community Liaison Officer Kawempe. I'm glad to be with you this morning.
Wow, it's a pleasure. So as I introduced the topic, case follow-up by civilians and the victims. So before we even get to that, what is case follow-up?
For starters, once a crime has been committed and you go to the nearest police station or post or police establishment and you register your complaint, it becomes a case. Now, once a case is registered, it means that the reporter must have a final conclusion of his or her case. And in most cases, we may say that the reporter must get justice. Now, in that trend of events on how a file moves or a case moves, that's what we call case follow-up. Because once you register your case, now a file is opened. A file is a document containing all evidences or evidence pertaining the case that was registered at the police. So, a reporter or a victim or any other person, even government, because sometimes cases can be there are cases of where the government has interest in, must be followed up to its final conclusion. That once a case has been registered, it must have its end.
Okay.
And the end, that's what we call justice. You know, justice is not only for the victims or the reporters. Even the suspects, you can be falsely accused.
They also need justice.
They also need justice.
Okay.
And you are in, of course, you are in our detention. Sometimes you end up in prison. You also need justice to be heard. Is it true you committed the offense or you did not commit the offense? So the final conclusion, of course, not all people get, or not all parties will get what they expect. There must be a winner and, of course, a loser.
Yeah, true.
It could be the one who reported or the one whom a case was reported against. So that process, that movement of the file from the start to the end is what we may term as case follow-up.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. So why is it important for a victim or the civilians or even the government, as you mentioned, to do case follow-up?
One, once you start up something, you must bring it to conclusion. Now, a file or a case file, I told you, is a set of is like a booklet like this. Sometimes files are bigger than even this notebook of mine. And we have a number of stakeholders in the justice system. So it is important for the reporter or the complainant or the victim or the accused person, or in our context the suspect, to know the various steps, how a case file moves until its conclusion or its end. Because once you open up a case and you go back and sleep, it will remain at that level.
Yes.
Others, the file goes to court, and maybe people have lost interest, and it ends there. So it is always important that once you open up a case file, you know the steps it takes for you to its final conclusion.
Are there implications in case you do not maybe follow up your case? Are there any things that can backfire at a certain time?
May not call it backfiring, but somebody can accuse you. I'm sorry to use you, but I know you're a good man.
Yeah.
Somebody can accuse you. You did this and this. A case is opened against you. We investigate. We arrest you. We put you in our custody. Then, from nowhere, the reporter somehow, somewhere does not follow up. And we have registered those incidences. Maybe there are certain things that the reporter needs to, or the complainant needs to be added on the file. Is required of him or her to add on the file. Maybe other witnesses, any other possible evidence, and they do not show up. So we have detained you, but your accuser seems not to be serious with what they accused you. Now we give you bond, because we expect the other person, your accuser, to bring in some other more important information to make the case a bit more complete. So you keep on reporting to police. Because we expect that file to be complete and be submitted to the DPP and further prosecution in court if possible. So once this person does not bring what is required, that continuous movement of you reporting on bond, it is costly. You put in money to move from one point to another. But also, you are restricted. Once you are on bond, you are restricted. Because sometimes they can give you a weekly bond. It means that if you are meant to move, you have a journey or you have an activity which may take you more than a week, you will be forced to cancel it because you are required. Even in court, witnesses, they are nowhere to be seen, but the accused person keeps on reporting in court. You who is the accused, you cannot move. Your travel documents sometimes are withheld. You cannot move. So it somehow has an impact on you. Especially the accused person. Because the reporters, for them, they have that liberty to withdraw at any point.
Not you, the accused.
For you, you are accused. For you, you wait. you are at the mercy of God. Because even in some instances, like I told you, like cases which are in state interest, and you know there are certain cases where the state picks interest, especially in these capital offenses. Even when the reporter seems to seems to lose interest in following up,
the government takes it up.
The state, not the state.
The state,
can bite and follows you up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the accused person is at the mercy of God.
Okay, and then what happens when someone, maybe you've given them bond, in those cases when they're being given bond, what happens if they don't show up to follow up on their cases?
Somebody is given bond and
they don't show up on the required time when they are told to report on this day.
That is calamity.
Hey.
When you are given bond, it is temporary relief. They have given you an opportunity that you can keep on reporting. Literally, somebody must be in custody once they have committed an offense. But once you are given bond, one leg is out, another leg is in custody. So what happens? What happens is that once you do not report on bond, sometimes you have sureties.
Okay.
People who come and have you eaten alone?
Yeah, from a friend.
From a friend. That one did not require guarantors. In bigger cases, when you say big, that is even the punishment is bigger. Even even if it is compensation, it's bigger. We always require them to have sureties.
Sure.
That in case for you don't come, somebody who has stood surety for you will be held accountable.
That's what happens to bond.
If it requires compensation, this person pays.
Wow.
If it requires to be put in custody, then these sureties can also be arrested. Yes, that's how serious it is. Okay. So for you, if you default to come, you will have put into problems the person who stood surety for you.
Okay.
But we can also trace for you. Uganda is very small. Even the world is small. Well, in whichever part of the world you are, once you are a criminal, you can be traced.
Okay.
Even rebels are traced and. So, but it is not good because they have trusted you that you are a responsible person, and besides, you are innocent until proven guilty. So, if you default or abscond or disappear or refuse to show up, it means that you are already judging yourself that you are not you are not
trusted person.
You are not a trusted person. Maybe that fear you have created in you could be maybe you have knowledge of what is accused against you.
Okay.
So once you're given a bail or bond, please report. But even there are some cases where we give people state bond. You don't have sureties, and the case is not or that of big magnitude. We know you. You have a permanent address. You have permanent place of work. We know you. The state can trust you and give you a state bond.
Okay.
Without sureties.
But when the case is...
it may even not be small, but the person is known.
Okay.
He cannot run. Now I cannot run anywhere. The state has has me on its spams, I disappear from where.
Okay.
I can easily be traced. So such members of the public, they can also benefit from state bond on self-recognition.
Oh, okay.
That we know you once we need you, we know where to get you.
Oh. Okay, what are some of the challenges civilians or maybe victims face while trying to follow up on their cases?
One, the word ignorance is also not proper. Somebody say that you are ignorant. it is not proper.
But for lack of a better word.
Anyway, but okay, let me say that, okay, some do not know what to do.
Hey, the ignorant.
For example, many people think that once you have registered a case at the police, it is over. Your responsibility is done. So somebody comes, makes a complaint at the police, and they are nowhere. You call them, please, we need this and this. But I reported my matter to the police. Once a case is registered, it is given an officer whom they call an investigating officer. That is the person who is meant to manage your case. So a complainant or a reporter has to be in close contact or communication with the investigating officer, because whatever step the case file makes, you must be in the know, you the reporter.
Okay.
Whatever is required on the file, it is you, the reporter, to guide. Because, for example, you fought somewhere. There were people. Maybe you had friends. So you have registered your case, you were beaten. The case is registered. Now it is your responsibility, the reporter, to show us or tell us who are your witnesses, who are they. Can we guess to them? Can you invite them to come? So once you do not, you the reporter, do not avail us with your witnesses, it means that your file will just hang in balance.
Okay.
So people don't know that it is not a matter of you reporting and ends at the police.
Okay.
Two, some people don't know that it is a constitutional right for somebody you are chosen to get temporary relief. Temporary relief is bond. So once complainants or victims see the person they are choosing or the suspect outside enjoying his temporary freedom on bond, they seem to lose interest. Say that even I see the person I choose, the suspect is at freelance.
Okay. And sometimes they say you report them to police, you take them to police, and by the time you reach home...
You reach home, they have already done what? But we do not have custody for whichever person is reported at the police.
Okay.
So we use that that's temporary relief also to decongest our cells.
Okay. Maybe I think that's where we have to continue from when we return back from the break, because that is a very, very important side to discuss about how do people reach home before we reach there, yet we have left them in custody. Well, we're going for a very short break and return with more.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Oh yes, you're welcome back. It has been a discussion even here when we went for a break. Quite a number of things to uncover when it comes to issues to do with cases and all that. But we are discussing about case follow-up by civilians and victims, which is very, very important. And before we went for the break, there was an issue of how do you leave someone at the police custody, and then when you reach home in the evening, you find them taking tea in their compound. So I want you to highlight more about this issue. How fast can that be?
Well, I told you that there is what we call temporary relief. we don't have space to accommodate whichever suspect in a case that has been reported at the police.
Okay.
So we use that constitutional relief on bail or bond. Bail always applies to court. Bond for purposes of police context. So that one, it gives temporary freedom to the suspects, but also gives us time to gather sufficient evidence to prosecute the suspects. Whereas in some instances it could be true that somebody reports a case, this person is at the police. Others, it does not necessarily that you must enter cells. You know, humanly, every person who reports a case against somebody, they have that heart or feeling that the suspect should be in cells.
Yeah. That's true.
Even some come to the police and ask or make requests or even gives commands that I want my suspect to be there like a week so that he understands.
Wow.
But it is upon the judgment of the investigating officer, of the CID officer, or the police management at the time to judge and weigh in on the case. That does, which magnitude does this case hold?
Okay.
What are the implications of having this person in custody or releasing a person on bond? Cases in most times they are run on feelings and sentiments. There are those who believe that once the suspect has not entered cells, they have not gotten justice. Even some do not mind on the case file, they mind on the suspect.
Yes.
They don't even want to know whether their case holds water. What they want is this person in custody.
Yeah.
So once the investigating officer makes his critical thinking and analysis of the case and has reasonable doubts to believe that when the suspect is given a police bond, one, may not interfere with investigation. Two, the evidence on the file is not sufficient enough to keep this person in custody. Three, there is sufficient or reasonable doubt that this person, once given bond, will be able to be to return to the police or be able easily available in case investigations are concluded and maybe there is need to forward the file and the suspect to court. There is no reason as to why the suspect shouldn't benefit on bond.
Okay.
However, like I have told you that most complainants and victims and reporters always have that sentiment and attitude that the person who committed the crime against me must be in custody. Even when you give that narrative and you try to weigh in, they are not contented with the person getting bond. In rare incidences, sometimes we have our investigating officers. Sometimes they may not give that insight. So as the complainant is on the street moving, then he bumps into the what? So they feel as if their case was not properly handled.
Justice was denied.
Justice was denied. Those are the people you always heard. My case was not properly handled. The suspect did not even spend a
day in prison.
A day in custody. But our emphasis is on the file. The strength of the case lies in the case file. There are people even who, when they have not stepped in custody. We arrest you today, record your statement, the file goes, in the next 2-3 hours it returns, we take you go direct in prison. You have not stepped in police cells, but you go directly to prison. Why? Because there is sufficient evidence on the file that you have a case to answer. So, whereas we always sensitize the members of the community, but also our officers, that we, like I earlier stated, that the reporter and the investigating officer must be reading from the same page. But of course, attitudes, sentiments sometimes override, and people differ in their ideas. Okay. This one wants the person to be in custody. This one says no. Let's give this person a bond.
Okay.
One thing that the general public must know: it is not a request from the complainant that the person should get bond. But for purposes of courtesy, for purposes of uniformity, for all parties to be on board, at least they can conference and they say, now, basing on this and this person is going to get bond. Because we have to do A, B, C, D. But sometimes you hear complainants say that, I was not consulted. How did you give bond? Yet for me, I am the reporter. The case is mine. Why didn't you consult me? You can inform for purposes of courtesy. In fact, it is important to inform that yes, the suspect has been given bond because we have to do A, B, C, D. Maybe we are entering into a long festive break. Maybe the DPP is not working. They have gone for they are in recess. Maybe it is a festive season. Courts are not working. We cannot hold a person on a simple case for more than a week. Now we are restricted not more than 24 hours. Those are 48 hours.
48 hours.
Those are 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
So he said, now look, the person has substantial sureties. Let this person benefit. Then once your case file is ready, then we can forward you to court.
Okay. So how can civilians be empowered to follow up on their cases without interfering with the investigations?
The empowerment is now what we are doing. Education, sensitization. That's why we have community engagements, we have workshops, we have a number of forums where we keep on sensitizing the general public on the need to know. And this is not only done by the police. We have a number of stakeholders. The judiciary is doing the same, the office of the DPP is doing the same, civil society organizations are doing the same. Sensitization, because people don't know, because they haven't been told. So our responsibility is that wherever we get an opportunity, we have to sensitize the public.
Okay.
because
And,
they don't know.
And Beda, are there specific offices assigned to maybe these roles of follow-ups and all that?
Not really, but it is a responsibility. Every police officer knows that once a case has been opened, it must have a conclusion. So, if you are an officer, you do not do what you are expected to do. That's why we have the professional standards unit. It is there to check on the professional conduct of police officers. And if the file was meant to go to state, or maybe to court, or maybe you were meant to do this and this, why didn't you do it? So whatever actions or decisions you take in respect to a case file, you must be able to defend them. If you overrun your limits, then the professional standard use unit brings you to order. But and all the administrators, because every station has management. At a divisional level, we have the DPC, we have the OC station, we have the OCCID, we have a number of heads of departments. Our responsibility is to ensure that people get justice. We supervise. Our role is supervision. Are things moving in the right direction?
Okay.
Where it seems to be things are not moving right, then we put them right through administration. That's why you see on a number of occasions we have transfers. Somebody is switching from this point to this point, maybe to bring the expertise you had and put it here, or to better up this point. Maybe here things have not been moving right, then you make a switch to enable performance, improve performance.
So what are the proper legal procedures a civilian must follow or a victim must follow to ensure that there is case follow-up?
Now, it may not be the civilian. Everyone has a case. Even me, I can report a case. I'm a civilian, but I can also any reporter or complainant. Now, once a case is reported at the file at the police, it is given a case file and a number, or the reference. Now, it is allocated to the investigating officer. The investigating officer has a responsibility to be to liaise with the complainant to make sure that the file has sufficient evidence to implicate the suspect. Once it is done, the file is sent, the case file is sent to the DPP. Of course, the DPP has attorneys, has state attorneys, has chief state attorneys for advice. The office of the DPP is mandated to guide prosecution. It is their responsibility to read or peruse through the file and give advice. Is the file from the state? We expect three things. One, that the evidence on file is sufficient to prosecute the suspect. So the suspect and the file are sent to court. Two, that the evidence on the file is insufficient to prosecute the suspect. maybe you were falsely accused. It is responsibility of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to advise police that no, you arrested the wrong person. It is true Gerard was with Mutera, but Gerard is not the one who beat, it was Mutera. So why did you arrest Gerard? Being with Mutera, did it mean that he's the one who beat? So we let you go, and now we go out to look for the one who committed the offense. 3, that yes, there is evidence, but it is insufficient. We need to add in A, B, C, D. So that person also gets police bond.
Okay.
That yes, there are certain things we have to put right so that we have a solid evidence to prosecute the person.
Okay.
Now, in most cases, we also have such concerns and complaints that once state has advised us to do something, and maybe for you thought that the suspect was also had a hand or has a question answer, but state has advised us that let's do this and this, and this person we have to give bond. So the complainant will say, but also why can't he be there so that we also look for others? After they have advised us, we don't know how long it will take to get the prime suspects. Now, once the file has gone to court, of course, our responsibility, we keep on liaising with the DPP and courts to ensure that the file is moving. Although the court develops its own file, but also the police maintains its file. So, at a certain point, we can be advised that maybe we need something to add in. We also do add in. But the 3 institutions, the police, of the DPP, and the courts are independent. So, at the level of the DPP, they can make an independent decision which may be contrary to what we expected. And we respect that. At the level of court, they can also make an independent decision and we go by that. So for us, once we prepare, it is a chain system. Police, state, or DPP, court.
Wow.
So in most cases, for us, once our response, we have done to court. Though in most cases, it is also the responsibility of the investigating officers to keep coordinating with the reporter or the complainant to ensure that whichever evidence is on file is submitted in court. Because we also retain the exhibits in case there are any exhibits recovered to make sure that we implicate the suspect.
Well, that's very interesting. Unfortunately, our time has run very fast. Maybe as we wind up, kindly, in just a few seconds, your last remarks in regards to the discussion today.
One, if you don't know, you always ask. You know, people want to pretend as if they know. When they don't know. Have you ever found somebody stranded? Maybe you want to open that door. That door has, it has a switch to open. So you find somebody is fidgeting, but they can't ask. People are passing, you can't say that. How do they open such a door? At the police, or even in any institutions of government, people want the there are people who have never been at the police. By virtue of maybe the way we dress, the guns, people fear. So sometimes they tend to lose track. It is always important that you always ask what you don't know. And the best person you can ask is the police officer. Because even the general public, also you find somebody on the street, somebody also has never also been at the police, but gives you what they think. So the best person to ask is the police officer.
Okay.
And we have offices. Please, don't ask from people who are in corridors. Make your way into the station. We have the reception or the counter. We have our offices, which are always open. Say maybe I want the officer in charge of the station, I want the OC station, I want the DPC, I want the OCCID, so that you get first-hand information. Sometimes people, they come and they fall in hands of conmen. I say, for me, I am the one who knows the officer very well. So they leave the complainant outside and they be as if they are brokers. So sometimes they end up being conned.
Okay.
So we always advise members of the public, please, if you have decided to come to the police, make your way to the station. Don't be broked on the way by somebody who pretends to be a police officer. Most importantly, inquire from officers on uniform. The officer who's on uniform, 99%. In fact, we want to eliminate that 1% or 0 point something percent. Everybody who is on uniform must have a name, so that if you are misled, you know that it is Mutera who misled me.
Okay.
But rarely, somebody who is on uniform must tell you the right thing. If it's to guide you to the responsible office, they will do it. So please always consult to know the truth. That is the only way how we are all going to get justice.
Okay.
Sometimes for us, what you call injustice may be the justice, but only you are not enlightened.
Okay.
And also thank you for always giving us an opportunity to speak to members of the public on such awareness. Because at one point, we all didn't know until we were told. So thank you. I extend our sincere appreciation to management for always giving us an opportunity to share what we know with others.
Wow. Thank you so much, Assistant Superintendent of Police Asiimwe Mutera, who is the Division Community Liaison Officer for Kawempe, for giving us such important information. Well, we cannot go past this. My name is Luke Majumba Alinai. Jonah likes calling me the Great. I want to wish you a lovely weekend ahead. Please make sure you enjoy responsibly. It can be long if you misuse it, but please make sure you don't go past the right procedures. Well, we are proud by Protea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe. Please, it's a wonderful place to go to. Have a lovely day.